it's nice to hear that. Any key things you've learned from the MBA so far at UCLA?
Yeah, let me think about that. Yeah, before UCLA, I didn't know anything about finance.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I didn't know squat. So
Like
now I
accounting, all that
understand, like,
stuff.
yeah, I didn't understand any of these quarterly calls at all these like tech companies I'm at. I just didn't understand anything. So
Hmm.
UCLA gave me a solid idea of like, what do these financial terms mean? How to, like, if you're at a company and you want to grow it, which area you should be focusing on, and just like understanding finance. And you need money to grow things. So if you can borrow money, you can accelerate your growth, but you need to be able to borrow it at a good rate. And sometimes you can borrow something at a high rate, and then borrow some more money later to pay it off, and then have it at a lower rate. So like, it's all these tricks that these finance people know how to just to keep the money in the company and make sure you don't go bankrupt.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's so fascinating. You mentioned that all these finance tips and hacks, and then you actually learning to read like the quarterly reports, the annual reports that are coming from the finance team. I think that's why it's so fascinating. A lot of people in big tech or in tech, you've probably seen this, come from the investment banking background. They come from the consulting background, or they come from like a big strategy background because they understand how money works and how to grow a company. I've had one of my mentors always tell me, like, Angelo, this company can grow with all the best technology, we can have the best engineers, but if you don't know how to do sales, if you don't know how to do marketing, why would the business grow itself? So always good to know that there is a business aspect to a technology company. So that is pretty cool. So after this phase in your life, you kind of moved on over to Netflix, and you kind of get into that thing: Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. And Netflix is one of the most interesting companies in the Valley in the sense that they only hire senior people, or at least I know for the engineering side, they only hire senior engineers, and they pay a lot. I think it's like 500,000 a year in just either salary or stock, whatever you kind of pick. And you are a senior TPM at Netflix, so senior technical program manager. What did you do there at Netflix, and what was the culture like?
Yeah. So I also joined the what they call the developer education team. So kind of
Mm-hmm.
leveraging my background doing training at Uber and also like online training at Microsoft. Netflix was hiring like really fast. They were hiring
Really?
dozens of engineers every week. So there was a big need to onboard them as soon as possible. Like you said, they get paid $500,000. If they're sitting there for a month, that's like you just lost 50K there. So
Yeah.
we want to be able to train them on our internal tools so they can use all their skills and build Netflix.com bigger and better and faster.
And what was that like working at Netflix? You're kind of in that hyper growth phase, out in Los Gatos. What was that like for you? What did you kind of do on a day to day basis with your team?
Yeah, so what was really cool about Netflix is they gave every person kind of the freedom to do whatever it takes to get to a solution.
Mm-hmm.
So although I was on the training team, I wasn't, I didn't, I could think about ways to, create training at scale. Um, so I actually leveraged my like coding background, and I built some like internal apps that
Oh wow.
the engineers would use on their, when they first joined to kind of discover resources. You can link someone a Google Docs with like a million links, but that's just
No
links
one's gonna
going
open
to more
it.
links and more links. So I kind
Yeah.
of try to make like this learning portal that people it could like based on your role, it would figure out where all the important resources and just show you. So I was given the freedom to do that. Like most companies would say, like you're not an engineer, Ben, go do project management stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Netflix is like, oh, okay, we hired you to solve the problem. Do it the way you think it should be done. And I love that freedom.